So, as I play through these, I will, just add some commentary here and there, which will, at some point, will largely consist of just talking to myself, as I do. One thing I'll explain early on here, I guess, is that this source port I am using is called Crispy Doom. The source port, for those who don't know, is basically the program that allows you to play this old game. So there's a bunch of these source ports out there. Lots of them add lots of features to the game. I mean, just visual stuff sometimes, like dynamic lighting, things like, when the imp throws his fireball, it'll light up the surroundings. They can add features like being able to look up and down, which you could not do in the original game, being able to jump, things like that. I went with Crispy Doom because I wanted to keep the game, largely vanilla. It's not totally vanilla. You could see I did raise the resolution. I was thinking about doing this with like a low resolution, like we had kind of had to play it back in the day. But I figured that would probably just get annoying for viewers. I mean, might be cool for a level or two, and then you just get tired of not being able to see what the hell was going on. So, I decided to give this a try with a little bit higher resolution here and a little more clarity. And I also turned the brightness up some. I like to play with the game a little darker than this. I think that's part of the appeal of the game. Some people hate dark games, but I think that's just part of the atmosphere. And, not being able to see everything is just part of the game. So, but again, for the audience's sake, or hopeful audience, if anybody decides to watch my videos, thanks for being here. You're going to want to see what's going on. There's still some parts of the game that'll be dark, but for the most part, it's pretty bright in this state. And I did use a couple of features, like for example, I showed in the last video my little handy counter in the upper left here. And then that little thing that pops up on the screen and tells me when I found a secret. I'm going to try and get all the secrets, but we'll see how that goes. If I get to the end of a level and I've killed everything and it looks like there's one secret and I can't remember what it was, I'm not sure I really want to go hunting around a level for 20 minutes trying to find it. This maze scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. And even though it's not that complicated, it did actually confuse me a fair bit. That breathing from the zombies is so creepy. Especially when it's, 1995 and you're 10 years old playing this on your uncle's Sega 32X on a like 21-inch crappy CRT TV at 8 o'clock at night, and it's dark and you can't really see what the hell you're doing, and you're awful with the controls because you're not really used to console gaming. I didn't have a PC either, so we didn't get one of those until I was in my teens. So the console versions were actually my introduction to Doom. I played that 32X version, and then eventually when I got a Super Nintendo, I used to rent the Super Nintendo version, which is a little bit different. I went down here, right? I think so. Yep. So now up here, there is a secret that I always forget. And I just tried to make this video and I forgot it, so I came back to get it. This is another thing that I enabled with this source port. There's these, occasionally around Doom, you'll see these dead Marines. And I believe in the original game, they all had the green armor. And the source port added an option to make them different colored armors. Kind of like the different Marines you would see if you were playing multiplayer. You know, there might be somebody in gray and somebody in blue, somebody in red, etc. And I just thought that was an interesting little detail that doesn't really change the game. You know, it's just kind of a visual detail, but doesn't really change it that much. So, and another thing that I enabled was there's an option to set where the some of the different monsters can have different colored blood. So, for example, these imps have red blood. Well, good thing I moved. That explosive barrel can really mess your day up. But the cacodemons, for example, will have blue blood, and I think the Baron of Hell has green blood. So did I get everything? Yeah, so all that's left is down here. Two imps, and I think that'll get me to 100% kills. Yep. So let's roll.